Welcome to another lecture of our machine learning playlist. Today we are going to learn about components of machine learning. So in our previous lecture we were talking about credit approval system, and we are going to use the same system as an example for today's video. So for a credit approval system, what is our input? The input is, suppose we can write the input as X, and it is the customer details. Suppose a customer is approaching our bank and he wants a loan. So we will be asking about his details from him first. Okay, so that is the input what he will give us. And what is our output? By judging from the details which the customer gave us, we are going to decide that the customer is a good or a bad customer. So that is going to be our output Y. Okay, so now let's take another function, that is our target function. This target function is what? This target function is the function which we want to achieve. Okay, this function is something like predicting the future with 100% accuracy. That means if we are giving details of a customer and we are getting output that the customer is going to return our money or not, that is the customer is a good or bad, and it is always going to be 100% correct. Okay, so that is our target function, that is the ideal case. Okay, the ideal credit approval system that we want to achieve. So now let's see what is our training data. Our training data is all the previous customers, their details, and if they are proved as good or bad customers by time. Okay, that means the details of the customers of our previous time, and also that if they were actually good or bad customer, that means if they actually returned our money or not. Okay, that is the actual data of past customers, that is known as training data. Okay, the records of previous customers. Now let's see what is the final hypothesis. So we will train our system and develop a learning algorithm to train our system, and finally we will going to get one final hypothesis, or you can say final system. So we are going to train our system with some data or previous records, that is training data, and make a function that is G which will give us and Y, that is output from our customer details, that is X, and we will try to make our function G as close to F as possible, that is our target function. Okay, so that what that means? That means we will try to make a function which will always give us the actual correct prediction. Okay, that means if the function will be saying that the it is good for us, then it is the customer is good, and if the function says that the customer is bad, then it will be bad. So I know that it is not always possible to predict the future, but our goal will be achieve such a function which will be as close as possible to F, that is our target function. Okay, so now let's see the same design which I have shown you in the previous also. So this is very important, so I am written this again. So what is here? It is our unknown target function, that is F, which will always predict 100% accurately. Okay, from X to Y. That is the ideal credit approval system. And what we have to achieve this function, we have some training samples, that is x1 y1 up to xn yn. That is what? That is our records of our previous customers, their details and their actual good or bad, all those records. Okay, so previous records of old customer, that is our training sample here for this particular system. So through these training samples we are going to develop a learning algorithm. Okay, we are going to develop a learning algorithm. What else we have to develop this learning algorithm? We have a hypothesis set H. After using this training sample and hypothesis set through a learning algorithm, we are going to develop a final hypothesis, that is going to be G, and our aim is to make this G as close as possible to F, which is the target function. Okay, so that will be our final credit approval formula. Okay, so now let's see something else, that is solution components. So among these 5 things, there are only 2 parts where we as a programmer we can contribute. These are this hypothesis set and this learning algorithm. We can only contribute to these 2 sets. This training sample will be given to us by our employer or the company, whatever else. But where we can contribute is this hypothesis set and learning algorithm. These 2 area we can contribute. Okay, so these 2 area together form a learning model. For every learning model there is a learning algorithm and a hypothesis set we are going to work.